Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Today I'm going to show you the movements on an Intrepid 4x5 Mark IV, and this is the black edition, which I have here, and I unboxed in a video, which I'll post on the top and on the bottom. First thing we're going to do is the tripod plate on the bottom has, or the bottom plate has the big screw and the small screw. One's 3/8 and the other one's something 16ths. It's metric, I'm imperial. I'm metric and this is imperial. But yeah, the tripod screws, the big one and the slim one. I have my tripod head here, which we're gonna go for the thick one. So basically all you have to do is put it in there and screw it around. And we should get, there we go. Camera's going in. And there we go. Now the camera's locked into position. So when you're getting the Intrepid, this is basically how it looks when you set it up. It's very, very simple. What I usually do is you raise the front standard and then you can, let me make this, you can turn this front standard out. So let's try to redo it and undo it. So this is breaking it down. As you can see here, we have that going down. Now you can let go of this screw so it can go down. And then the back screw, and that will let you fold it down. Okay, so this is how you get your camera when it comes out of the box. Very simple, very flat, and you basically have to take these back screws off, which you can see one here and one here. And once you take them off and you raise it up, and it doesn't have a 90-degree stop. So basically you can level it with a bubble level on the top, which could be somewhere around there. And then the front standard, like you saw, comes out and you can choose what hole you want to go into. The rule of thumb is the closer you're going, usually the wider you're using, and the further out you're going, the longer lens you're doing, or you're doing macro work. So for example, this could be for a 90mm, this could be for like a 120, this could be like a 150, 135, 210, 240. So let's go for like a middle one so you guys can see. And what I do is I showed you, I release these inner knobs, which let me rise and fall. And we go up. And then I tighten like maybe a little bit one. So that way I have space to screw this bottom screw. So you basically screw it all the way in, as I'm doing here. And you'll notice when you do this, that you have these little marks on the front. So I can't see it because I'm looking the other way around. But this has to be basically flush with the focusing board. So you want to make it as flush as possible, tighten it a little bit, not too much, and then you can lower the front standard till probably around there. And that would probably be what I call zeroing the camera. Why is this important? When you're starting to shoot, you want to have everything at 0. Because then from there, you can start working movements, rise, fall, whatever you want to do, focusing, anything like that. So this would be my standard setup to start every single time. And the same thing, if I'm moving to a new location, I'll do this. I'll take this whole thing into somewhere and start shooting. So now you would probably put your lens board, which just so you know, because I think this is important. We have a lens board on, but let me show you. 4x5 is basically an empty box. As you can see, nothing in it, okay? Just the black box with bellows. Just so you think it's complicated. Then you put your lens board, in this case this is a Copal 3, so we would put it in there. And the Copal is the size of the hull, so this would be for a lens with Copal 3 shutter. And then let's start with the front standard. So as I showed you, this is rise and fall, okay? And I'm going to leave it around 0 position. And this is for tilt. So the exterior little knobs, which actually are 3D printed, these are for tilt. And a lot of people don't like the fact that it's kind of like loosey-goosey. But honestly, when you're shooting large format in the field and you want a lightweight package, you just kind of leave it semi-tight and then just go very slowly increments. One thing you'll learn by doing movements is that less is more. So a 2, 3, 4 degree angle on the front will do a lot for your depth of field Scheimpflug. So that's important to know. So those are the front up and down and sideways here. And then on the bottom here, this knob that also screws where focal length you're using works as the swing. Okay, so you can swing it this way, you can swing it that way to do the same thing as the tilt on the front. Instead of going like that, you're basically going like this. And also your shift. So you can shift, you know, as long as the camera will let you, you can go, and the bellows, you can shift. So you could go all crazy with double movements, but let's just show it like that. So once we tighten that down, this is all locked, locked, locked. Another thing that's very important, try to remember to lock all your gears and movements so you don't have any problems when you're going to take a shot. There's nothing worse than not locking a movement, inserting your, you know, film holder and suddenly realizing, boom, your shift went crazy or your tilt went over. And usually you don't notice. So it's even worse because you develop and you see that. And then we're going to go to the back standard. So on the back here, you have these knobs that very simply just go backwards or forwards. And this is base tilt because it's at the bottom. Okay, guys? So you will lose focus. When you do those movements, do remember that the perspective of, or actually the size of objects or the apparent size of objects will change because the image has to travel longer to hit the top or the bottom depending on what movement you're doing. So that's good to know. And the back doesn't have any other movements. There's no rise and fall, there's no swing, no shift, no nothing, okay? That's not critical. When you're out in the field, it's very rare that you need a lot of movements on the back, but people like it. Maybe Intrepid wouldn't be the camera for you, but most people can live without it, and that's absolutely fine. And then we're gonna go to the back of the camera. This is basically, let me give it a bit of a spin. This is the focusing knob. So all you have to do, and you won't notice it there, but let me see if you can notice it there. You'll see the bed moving forward. That's bringing focus closer. So if there was an object here, and this is really exaggerated, if I would go super close, I would focus closer. If the object's further away and you're using like a 210, the front and the back should be around 210 millimeters away from each other. That's the way you calculate what screw to put it on. So basically, that's how you do it. You go backwards. For example, if you're doing a 90 millimeter or something like that, you have to put it at the back screw, like I said. Bellows are not interchangeable, which is a bit of a bummer, but they're really good quality bellows. And yeah, you can basically rack the focus all the way out. And that's about all you can do. And this focusing knob, which you can see here, is just, how do you say it? It's crazy, like it's loose. There's no tightening it, but it doesn't move. Like, look, I'm gonna put some force on the front standard and it won't go either way, okay? So you don't need to tighten your focus. It seems like it's super flimsy, but it actually does exactly what it does. And when it has a lens on top, it actually is smoother because it has a bit of weight on the front standard. So that's the back. And then on the other way in the back, when you go to the back like we see here, to rotate the back on the Intrepid, which is, I think, one of the best features for a camera in this price range, you just have to twist it. And let me see if I can do it. There we go. It has magnets, so that's why it's a little harder to start with. So there we go. And now we're in horizontal. And we want to go back to vertical. We just go that way and boom. So that's how easy it is. If you want to insert a film holder, and here we have a normal 4x5 film holder that you basically just have to push open a little bit, insert on the back, and you want to make sure it goes all the way down. So basically on the bottom you can feel it, and here you would take out your dark slide that's pointing towards the lens, and you would do your exposure, and then basically what I always do is push them out and push it up. And you want to be careful when you do that because it is glass there. You don't want to snap it in and snap it out. And then if you want to use, like I have here, a Polaroid 405 holder, which I'll leave a link below if you want to find them, but they're becoming pretty hard to find because, yeah, people want them. All you have to do on the Intrepid is basically lift these little sides and pull your focusing screen out, like I did before when I showed you that basically the camera is a black box. And as you can see, I said there's, you know, your pictures here. And you can put your 405 holder, and I can't see what I'm doing, so let me have a quick peek. There we go. And you move these little sliders in. So that goes one way, and that goes the other way. And now that's, oh, sorry, didn't go all the way in. There we go. Now it's all the way in, and this is how you would actually shoot Polaroid 405s if you want to be Peel Pals, like Intrepid series. You could do that, and that's how you basically shoot that. If you want to take it out, it would be the same thing, but outwards. So one way and the other. Let me see if I can do that without looking. Upwards, let me have a quick look. There we go. And there we go. So now we take this off. And if you want to also shoot the other hard to find Polaroid cameras, Polaroid film, the 545i with, for example, new 55 or a famous format, or the original Polaroid 55, you just do the same thing. You put this in here. So I just noticed that the 545i I have here won't work with this back, or at least I'm not capable. It has this little tab on the side that you can see here that won't let it go all the way in. So maybe you can't shoot 545 film with the Intrepid. And if you want to put it back on, it's very simple. You grab your ground glass and you lift these little tabs a little bit, and it has like a place to go. So basically there it goes. And there we are, ready again to be able to shoot normal sheet film. So yeah, guys, that's basically a breakdown of the movements on an Intrepid 4x5 camera. Very simple if you know how to use a large format camera. If you're brand new to it, maybe it's a little, discouraging. I highly recommend you start with no movements to shoot straight pictures, and from there start with the parallel movements. And when you get the hang of that, start doing movements on the front standard and then maybe on the back standard. So yeah, guys, this was a video made with collaboration of Intrepid cameras. This is the 4x5 Mark IV Black Edition, made of 3D printed materials in aluminum. Actually, really lightweight camera, has a really nice feel to it, and I think it'll be a great performer. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching. If you have any questions about large format or anything like that, just leave a comment below. See you in the next one.